Fantastic. So we're going to use coordinates to find slope, and we're going to find the slope of the line that passes through the points P and Q. So ready? What were we looking for? We were looking for the what to what ratio? Height to base. Okay, so I'm going to write that over here on the side. Height to base. Okay, what other type of ratio were we using? Rise over run. Okay, and when we look at height and we look at rise, so let's look at the top parts. What information does that use? The what values? The y or the x? The y. So we're going to look for the y values over the what values? X values. I guarantee that you can figure out how to solve this problem without me telling you anything. So our job is to get from this point to this point by going up and by going over. But we don't know how much we're going up and over. We could count, or we can use the information that they gave us and figure out a way to solve it our own way. So let's use the information that they gave us. And if we're trying to find the y values, what two y values do we have? 14 and what? 8. Okay, so we have a 14 and we have an 8. And what x values do we have? 12 and 4. So you know what Ms. Gode did? I just picked the first one and the second one. Does it matter what order? I'm going to tell you now. It does not matter what order. You're going to get the same amount each time if you go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. It will work. So all we're going to do what did I add? Subtraction. Wow. Wow. Ready? What's 14 minus 8? 14 minus 8? 6. 12 minus 4. Can we simplify? Divide them both by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Look what our slope is. Ta-da! Is everybody okay? Thank you for your feedback. Okay, so glad y'all are doing great. I'll wait a second. People are still writing. Anybody lost? Everybody okay? Slope is by far one of my favorite things in the world to teach. You want to know why? Because it's just slope. It just works every time. It's not hard to figure out. You use the same information over and over again, and it never changes. And so, like, it makes me feel safe. Like, equations, I love solving equations, but equations change. They add the distributive property, and they add all this fun stuff, and division, and whatnot, and that gets exciting. Slope never changes. It is the same every time, okay? So, ready? Turn the page. Oh, my Lanta just got exciting. I just said it didn't change, and what happened? It changed. But what did it change to? What did it change to? Okay, so it not exponents. Subscripts. Subscripts just mean they're counted. That's all that means. It means that they're being counted. So what we're trying to figure out is if we have the subscripts, what's going to happen if we need to figure out how to get from one subscript to the other subscript. So what are the coordinates of point R? Anybody? Do we know? So we have no idea. That's what we're solving for. Yes? You good? Okay. So we do not know what they are. All we know is that to get from here to here, what do we have to subtract? So we're going from here to here. What do we have to subtract? The what? We have to subtract the what? The y. So we have to subtract y2 minus y1. If we subtract y2 minus y1, it's going to be in the same spot as what? Let's look at it. Can y'all look at it for me? So if we're at y2 and we subtract y1, then we're going to be at the same y value as what? Y what? Look, we're talking about just the y's. So if we're at y2 and we subtract y1, where is my y value? y1. It's in the same spot, is it not? This dot right here is in the same spot on the y-axis as this one. Yes? Where's my ruler? Same y value, right? Yes? Okay, what happens if we do the x? x2 minus x1. Where's our x going to be? The same as what? x1? It's the same as x1. x1's over here. Where's the x value of this coordinate point? Okay, ready? If I draw two lines, what is the pink line's equation? Equation. What is this pink line's equation? Y equals or x equals? Horizontal lines. X equals, right? So x equals something. We don't know what it is yet. We just know x equals something on this line. Yes? What's this line? Y equals something. Are y'all okay? Yes? So, if this point and this point are on the same x, That means that the what values have to be the same. Let me ask you again. If this point and this point are on the same x, that means that what has to be the same? The x value. What's the x value of this one? So what does the x value of this one have to be? Okay. And if this point and this point are on the same line, their what has to be the same? Their y's have to be the same. So what's the y value of this one? y1. What's the value of this one? y1. Okay. So that got like all excited because they're trying to explain to you all of the, sorry, the comma, all of the details of it. We're going to make it a lot easier. They're just giving you the math version. Yes, ma'am. Because we're not subtracting. So x2 minus x1 is just going to put us at an x2 place. We're just talking about place value right now. y2 minus y1 is going to put you at the y1 place. Look at my lines instead of looking at this. Because watch. If you look at this point right here, this is an x equals line, right? That means that all of the x's on that line have to be the exact same. So if the value of this x right here is x2, that means that this value of this x has to be x2. And if you're on this line, all of your y values have to be the same. So if the y value for this one is y1, that means that the y value for this one also has to be y1. So we're just looking at the mathematical reasoning. It doesn't have to make 100% sense. Is that okay? So, I wrote that all wonky. x2, comma, y1. They're just trying to give you the information. What is the height of this one? It's going to be y2 minus y1 units. What's the base? x2 minus x1 units. What is the slope of the line that passes through P and Q? This is where they got this information. Didn't we already look at that? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. See, I told you they were just trying to get to the mathematical reasoning behind it. It's a lot easier when they throw in numbers though. So let's go ahead and go to the next problem and let's look at the numbers that they give us. Yes? Consider the following line. See? A lot easier with numbers, isn't it? Okay. So do y'all want to label the first one x1 or x2? So you want this to be the first one or second one or first one? Which one y'all want? First one is going to be what? Raise your hand for 1. Okay, raise your hand for 2. I'm so glad my whole class is participating. Do you want this to be the first coordinate that you use or the second coordinate? That's what I'm asking. First, got it. First coordinate. Okay. And this one? Second. Got it. Ready? So, if we're going to take this, can I show you all the trick? Yes? Take your first coordinate. 1, 10. Come on. You doing this with me? And on the top of it, since y'all picked it as your first coordinate, I want you to write x1, y1. Now we're going to do the same thing for our second coordinate. Our second coordinate is 4, 4. What are we going to label this one as? x2, y2. By the way, the subscripts just mean that it's a placeholder. Now we're going to use our formula. What's our formula say? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is going to give us our slope. So what is our y2? 4. What is our y1? 10. Everybody okay with that? All I'm doing is picking which ones are where they are. Y'all okay? Everybody's writing a lot, so where are we? Thumbs up if you're good. Okay, ready? So what's my x2? 4. What's my x1? 4 minus 10. Negative 6. 4 minus 1. 3. Are we done? Can negative 6 be divided by 3? Yes. What's going to be my answer? So the slope of this line is what? Negative 2. Ready? They drew this. Sorry, it's not perfect. And they said that if the dot of this triangle is in this place, then that means that R is going to have the same the same X as this one, and the same Y as this one. Do we need to know that? Only if they're asking you about the triangle. Our slope is negative 2. They took nope, I'm not explaining it like that. This is a negative line, it's going down, right? Okay, flip. Let's look at numbers. Oh, I am so sorry. Never mind, don't flip, go to the bottom. I missed those 2 problems. Okay, what happens if they just give us points and they don't give us a graph? Can we solve for it? Yes. Okay, ready? You don't have to rewrite everything. First one, y'all want it to be the first or the second? Second. Okay, so Adeline chose it. Ready? x2, y2. That means that this one is x1, y1. Yes? So what's our formula? Change in y over change in x. Change in y over change in x. So we need to see what the difference is of the y's over the differences in the x's. Why does Miss Gode keep using different words? Because I want you to understand it's the same thing. So if I say difference of the y's over the difference of the x's, if I say change in y over the change in the x, if I tell you that I want to know the distance between 2 points, not the distance, sorry, the slope of the line between 2 points, we can do that. Distance of 2 points is a different formula. Ready? Here we go. So, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What's my y2? 3. Uh-oh. What's my y1? What's my y1? a negative 1. So we have to subtract a negative 1. And what's my x2?
I gotta make copies.
Yes, ma'am. What's my x2? 20. And my y2, my x1? 4. Okay, go ahead and do the math. See if you can figure out your slope. Did y'all figure out the slope? What is it? What's 3 minus a negative? Positive. So what's 3 plus 1? 4. What's 20 minus 4? A negative and a negative make a positive. Every single time. There's a reason why Ms. Gode went through this problem with y'all. Okay, so go ahead and do the next one, please. Did we set it up? Yes, sir. Two minus a negative 2. So a negative and a negative make a what? Positive. So 2 plus 2.
My kindergartners have been out of a coloring book, so I just want my copies.
A negative and a negative is a positive. This is why. Look. So, which one did you use for x1, y1? Okay, x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2, yes? Okay, so if we're setting this up, 2 minus a negative 2. This negative outside of a negative. Write this down if you do not know this rule, please. If you get messed up with a negative and a negative, what is this number on the outside of the parentheses behind the negative sign? A 1. And what happens when you have some things that are inside parentheses and there's a number on the outside? We have to use the distributive property, which is multiplication. And we have to multiply that negative 1 times that negative 2. If you hate to hate, you're a what? If you hate to hate, you're a what? A lover. Okay, so if you hate to hate, you're a what? Lover. So if you have a negative times a negative, it will give you a what? Positive. So if you have a negative, you're subtracting a negative. You're taking away a negative amount. It becomes a positive amount. So this 2 minus a negative 2 is actually 2 plus 2. Over negative 7 minus a negative 11. Same situation. Ready? So negative 7 minus a negative 11 is the same thing as negative 7 plus 11. A negative and a negative always turn into a positive. All the time. Yes? That are all looking at the board like this. Like I've never seen a negative and a negative go together before ever in your entire life. Is that where y'all are getting stuck? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation. What's negative 7 plus 11? 4. And what's 4 over 4? 1. So the slope of my line equals 1. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let's try and see what happens if we do it opposite. Okay? So, are y'all okay with doing that? Let's see what happens if you do it opposite. So, we have negative 11, comma, negative 2. And we have negative 7, comma, 2. We made this one y1 and x1, y1. So now we're going to make this one x2, y2. And this is going to be x1, y1. Same situation. Negative 2 minus 2 over negative 11 minus 7. Sorry, minus a negative 7. That was my mistake. Ready? Okay. What's negative 2 minus 2? Negative 4. What is negative 11 plus 7? Negative 4. What is negative 4 divided by negative 4? 1. Did you get the same answer? Did you get the same answer? You got 1 both ways, right? So, it does not matter which one you use. You're going to get the same answer. One, you're going to have to deal with negatives. The other one, you're not. Are y'all okay? 0 to 4. At the understanding of this. Okay, ready? Watch out crazy. Turn the page. I want you to do number 6, number 8, and number 10. Please. 6, 8, and 10. You can work with your groups.